Let's talk about what's going on in coffee. And given the events of this week, the last few months, and pretty much all of 2025, I think it's time we have a conversation about how we define the coffee industry. Over the past few decades, we kind of delineated the coffee industry as kind of two different segments, right? We called one of those segments, we called it the commercial market, and the other we called the specialty market. Now, the commercial market is pretty much where all the big corporates are. They buy massive volumes, they trade off the C market, they have cafes and roasteries that are selling pretty cheap and are all about profitability. Very different from the specialty market, or what we call the specialty market. Specialty market is supposed to be focused on quality. It is supposed to be focused on professionalism and great relationships with farmers, and it's supposed to be a better way of doing business. And I would hypothesize that that is an old model. I would say that what we called specialty is being driven by places like the Specialty Coffee Association. In my humble opinion, I believe that they're trying to drive an industry that is more about hyper specialty, much like the wine industry. I think that what they're trying to do is push a whole different category in coffee, and the tools that we have available in our industry support a hyper specialty market and a commercial market, but they don't support that part of the industry in the center that is most of the small and medium-sized businesses that we all used to think of was specialty coffee. And when I'm talking about those tools, what do I mean? I mean the C market works for the big corporates. It may not work for the farmers outside of Brazil that sell to them, but it does work for the corporates. And coffee auctions is what works for the hyper specialty. But the center, all of the small businesses across the entire supply chain, from farmer all the way through to the cafe, are not being served by anybody, and none of the tools that exist work for them. We're going to be talking about that in our discussion group, our monthly discussion group that's happening next week. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. We've got to find some solutions.